Hey guys, it's Salvajee. Now that I've had some time to play the Anthem VIP demo, I wanted to finally make my video on one of my biggest worries on Anthem. I've been looking forward to this game for a long time, and I really hope it doesn't suck, right? I mean, by the looks of it, Bioware wants this game to succeed, but in the past, there was a developer, Bungie, who also wanted their game to succeed, which was Destiny 2, and they promised so many things, but at the end of the day, Destiny 2 was a complete and total disappointment. And it doesn't matter where they redeemed themselves when it came down to Forsaken, they already stole a shit ton of my money, and I wasn't going to give them, the rest of my money. And I really hope Bioware just doesn't do that, because I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did with Destiny, that I beta tested the game since pre-alpha, basically all the way up to Destiny 2, until they basically got it right. If Anthem sucks, I'm just going to be done with it in general. And don't get me wrong, I don't really think Anthem is going to be this crazy end game experience that's going to have you playing the game every single day on a consistent basis. I actually kind of doubt that that's going to happen, but all I want in Anthem is just an end game that is fulfilling, that gives me a sense of progression and always keeps me coming back to it, but by choice, not by will, not because I am forced to go back to it, otherwise I'm going to, miss out on this specific weapon. I mean, Fortnite Save the World, the endgame in Save the World is very amazing. It gives you a sense of progression, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, and every single week they tell you, hey listen, this weapon's going to be in the shop, this new hero is going to be in the shop, you have 1 week to get it, and in 1 week you have more than enough time to get that specific hero or that specific weapon that they're adding. But we'll talk about the endgame a little bit later on in the video. Let's talk about one of my first worries, performance issues and bugs. There was a loading screen bug on the first day of the demo. There was also a lot of rubber banding. Basically, that means extreme lag, that you can't even move because you always get sort of like brought back to where you actually were. I feel like today as I was playing the demo, I didn't really experience that as much, but it was something that was noticeable, and I really hope that they fix all of those issues when the base game comes out, because I really don't want the Anthem base game to come out and then just have it be a game filled with a ton of bugs and problems. I mean, so many games got a bad reputation and were ruined because of all of the bug issues and performance issues, etc, etc. Batman Arkham Knight on PC being one of them. What's another game that recently just came out? Oh yeah, Fallout 76 with all of the bugs, etc, etc. Like, if Anthem gets a bad reputation when the base game launches, it's basically going to be another Destiny. Destiny got a really bad reputation because of its endgame when it first came out, and basically that's where the joke, do people still play Destiny, comes from. Like, 3 years after Destiny's release, or 4 years, people are still saying, do people still play Destiny? Those are the same people that basically are just Destiny haters because of course, how bad of a reputation Destiny got when it first came out. So I really hope Bioware, fixes all of those performance issues, problems. Also, I have a GTX 1066 gigabyte and a Ryzen 7 1800X. Yo, the Anthem VIP demo was running those things at like 99%. My PC fans were like going at 300 miles per hour. It's crazy because usually I play Fortnite on really high settings and my PC barely makes any noise, but the Anthem VIP demo was definitely stressing my PC a lot. And of course, hopefully, that also gets fixed when we get the actual full game. Another thing that has me worried when it comes down to the full Anthem game is free play. For the most part, when it comes down to games like Anthem and Destiny and The Division, free play isn't really a big deal. It's usually the place where you go to like get your materials and sort of do a couple of quests, etc, etc. However, as I was playing the VIP demo, the free play world just felt super empty. World events basically would take forever to appear. I don't know. I'm just really hoping that, Bioware actually does a pretty decent job at, making the free play world sort of fluid and basically alive. Because if the free play world is really boring and really empty, all of this movement, all of these combat mechanics that we have in the game, we're just not really going to be able to fully enjoy them, right? The next thing that has me really worried is also the strongholds, right? Because the strongholds are basically like these, like strikes, I guess you could say, from Destiny 2. And I was just thinking, I was looking at the map, And I was just thinking, man, what if like the game comes out and there's only like 5 or 6 strongholds? Because that's basically like 5 or 6 strongholds. That means like after I play the game for like 2 weeks and after I get to the end game, I have to repeat those 5 or 6 strongholds like constantly, non-stop. I hope that we at least get like 10 strongholds, but quite honestly, I really doubt that's gonna happen. I think probably, you know, Bioware, they're shooting for maybe like 6 strongholds, maybe 8 would be kind of like wishful thinking. That's the next thing that I want to talk about, you know, the end game. I said I was going to go a little bit more sort of like in depth later on in the video. I feel like when it comes down to games like, you know, Destiny 2, The Division 2, you know, Destiny, even Anthem, I don't know, man. I feel like all of these games just have a terrible end game when they first release. And I'm not really expecting the Anthem endgame to be super crazy, super engaging, you know, that gives you a huge sense of accomplishment and a huge sense of progression, because quite honestly, you know, one of the biggest things that worries me about the endgame is the fact that the endgame is going to be extremely grindy and very demanding when it comes down to you actually playing the game. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to just play the game and then, you know, 1 week in I already have like all of the endgame gear, etc, etc. But what I'm seeing so far and what I've seen so far from developer interviews and live stream, etc, etc, the game is basically like you're supposed to get endgame gear by playing on the Grandmaster's difficulty, Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3. So basically my only worry with the endgame of Anthem is, well, we're gonna be going against these bullet sponges that do massive amounts of damage, and we might not be able to sort of fight them very well or fight them fairly, because of course we're gonna be at a huge disadvantage. I just really hope that the gear system actually makes those higher tier difficulties a little bit better and sort of more balanced. Because if the end game is basically the enemies are extremely overpowered, they do more damage, and they're bullet sponges, and the bosses take 25 years to destroy because they have like 10 million health, I just feel like that wouldn't be a really satisfying end game. And you know, the thing is also, you know, people think that sometimes casual endgame experience are kind of bad. The endgame experience in Fortnite Save the World is very casual related, but also, you know, kind of like that fits the hardcore. I'm always grinding towards something in Fortnite Save the World, and I really hope that with Anthem we get that sort of endgame, right? But again, you know, I'm just worried about it, you know, because I feel like they might not get it right, and it might take them a couple of months to actually have a really good and engaging endgame. With that said, however, at the end of the day, you know, I'm kind of sure that I know what I'm getting for when it comes down to my money's worth. I don't really expect the end game to be super engaging, but I expect it to be sort of fun. And of course, I also expect that, you know, the game and the combat mechanics, etc, is what's going to make the game, of course, a ton of fun and of course very satisfying. In the Fortnite Save the World endgame, you're basically doing the same missions. You're basically either defending or attacking the husk, and even that is a ton of fun to me. So hopefully Anthem can, you know, get these things that I'm worried about right, and if it does, I think that it has a lot of potential to be a really fun and great looter shooter based game that of course people play. If you guys enjoyed my review, if you guys enjoyed my thoughts on, you know, my worries on Anthem, let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below, and of course feel free to like the video and subscribe for more Anthem content.